I want to make a series named Bhagavad-Gita based on my personal experiences and various 15 plus sources that I have gone through because of my love for Gita, in which Mahabharata will also be included, but the main focus will be on Gita. I want to make it at a higher level than B.R. Chopra, which is available on YouTube. This is my final goal, and before I make that series, I need to make short films which would be basically inspired by Gita only. And I want to work my way up to reach that level so that I would be able to work with the directors of The Matrix, The Interstellar, Inception, Avatar, Groundhog Day, Lucy, I Robot, Doctor Strange, Game of Thrones, and many more. And these all movies and series are basically inspired by Gita only. All these directors have made fictional genres, but now it's time for the reality, which is only Bhagavad Gita. I am more of a director and writer, but because of my love for Gita and what is mentioned in Gita, I am sharing this knowledge. I am not a charismatic famous speaker, but I am trying my best. So please try to focus on the words, the message coming out of them. I am a bridge between normal and high level people because I can think keeping in mind for both. For example, Friends sitcom is popular as more normal people can relate it with themselves rather than Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is a high level comedy, but that show is less popular because it's meant for high level people. Since I have a common thinking between these two groups, so the message of Gita from my series can reach the maximum people. I have just started with a short film. I am interested in the concept of everything everywhere. I like to do everything. I want to invest my money for the welfare of the people in every field from the money I will earn from the movies and series. For example, science, ISRO, NASA, astrology, anthropology, saving animals, and many other projects like all the fields. I will keep just the survival money from these projects. I will also get new ideas for my movies as I want to become a part of these projects myself so I can use those ideas for my new movies. After thorough investigation, money will be invested in these good projects as the donor's donation are his own responsibility and he is himself responsible for all the investments. So this is my ultimate goal according to my personality, but both ways I'm just spreading the message of Bhagavad Gita. So that way, in even what I'm doing right now, and with the different for projects concept, I'm watching a lot of informant channels like Discovery, NGC, and I get the ideas from all the streams of the world. So let's continue. Lord, there is such a Manu word somewhere. He has given instructions to kill the oppressor. Such is the scriptures, and Arjuna also knows that Duryodhana etc. are all oppressors, and yet he hesitates in killing them. So, what is the reason for this? Firstly, what Manu says is only social policy, social ethics. What Manu says is only social thinking, social code. Manu's words are not spiritual. Manu's words are neither manas or psychology. Manu's words are a system of social customs and behavior. Therefore, if Manu has to be linked, then he will have to be linked with Marx. He will have to be linked with Durkheim, with people like this. Manu does not have any deep questions. Manu is a social administrator, and no system of society is extreme. All the systems of society are contemporary. Whoever thinks a little, his thoughts will continuously go towards the system of society because the system of society is made keeping in mind the last person. As it is said that a qualified teacher is one who speaks keeping in mind the last student in his class. Certainly, a qualified teacher is the one who speaks keeping in mind the last person in the class. But then the teacher immediately becomes useless to the person who is the first in the class. In the system of society, the last person is kept in mind and basic rules are established. Arjun is not an ordinary person, not a mediocre mind. Arjun is thoughtful, intelligent, is exceptionally talented. Life becomes a mere thought for him. Now Manu says that there is no harm in killing the oppressor. The matter is not so easy for the thoughtful. Who is the tyrant? And even if he is a tyrant, is it right to kill or not? Then the oppressor is his own. Manu does not even care about him. The oppressor has come to believe that he is the enemy. Here, oppressor is our own. And there is not one person, there are millions of people. And there are millions of close relationships among those millions. Therefore, Arjun's situation is very different. It does not belong to ordinary oppressor, the attacker, or the one who is attacked. That's why he is thinking. That's what he is thinking. That's what he is saying, that if by killing all these people and getting the kingdom also, then is this deal fair? That's what he is asking. Is it a fair deal to kill all of them and get the kingdom? Does it make any sense to take over the state at such a price? That's he is asking. So this is the concern. This is the state that is in the mind of Arjuna. His thinking is far above the rules of Manu. In reality, rules are always inert. Basic rules are ad hoc and become meaningless in special crisis situations. And Arjuna's situation of crisis is very special. There are three types of specialities. One thing is that it is very difficult to decide who is the terrorist. It is always difficult. We find it very easy to decide from the back who is the oppressor. If the Kauravas had won, would you have known who was the tyrant? Because then the story would have been written in a different manner. Because then the storyteller would have been different. And the storytellers gather around the winner. We don't gather around the losers. Hitler lost the Second World War, so now we know who was the bad guy. But if Hitler had won, and Churchill and Roosevelt and Stalin had lost, we would have known for sure that someone else was worse. What we think in retrospect after the situations have passed is not so fixed right in the middle of these situations. Generally, a person who writes a history of the winners, and history usually crystallizes around the winners. So today we know that Kauravas were tyrants, but at the very moment of the war, the matter of who is the aggressor and who has done bad is not as clear as 2 and 2 is 4. It is never clear. China keeps saying that India attacked it. India keeps saying that China had attacked it. It will never be decided who attacked. Till date, it has never been decided who was the attacker. Yes, whoever wins writes a history. The defeated attacker is decided. One who loses cannot write the history. Is losing itself a proof of being an attacker? It is always easier to decide from the back because then the lines are fixed. But it is not so easy in the right circumstances. Mistakes always happen on both sides. There may be differences in quantities, but they are not one-sided. It is not that the Kauravas are solely responsible for all the sins and the Pandavas are not at all. It is not like that. There are differences in quantities. It may be possible that the Kauravas are more responsible, but this is also decided from a long time ago when we get perspective and distance. Right is the thick of the battle. Arjuna's mind became very worried. Nothing is clear. What is happening? How far he is recovering? And even if it is decided, then he is the oppressor. Still, all the loved ones are standing on that side. It will happen.